We're coming to you from Lentegeur in Cape Town, and I don't know if you can hear the noise of the all too familiar kind of sick tune of South Africa right now, which is a generator running in the background as load shedding has just kicked in. And since the onset of load shedding almost 15 years ago, but more recently in the past 2 years, the troubles associated with load shedding has absolutely escalated to levels where it has become impossible, especially for services and maintenance teams, to work in the areas around electricity boxes, electricity lines, and so forth. And to that end, the City of Cape Town today has launched a new law enforcement unit that will support these maintenance teams when they go out and do essential work. To talk to us about it, we have JP Smith, the Mayco member for safety and security in the City of Cape Town. JP, thank you very much for joining us. We know you're very busy. First of all, explain to us what these teams will be.
So over the time, the challenges facing safety and security have changed. We have to increasingly dedicate policing resources to policing escorts. So it means like departments like water and roads, and in this case energy, have crews that go out to do repairs. These crews either suffer crime incidents, robberies or intimidation or extortion attempts. And of course there's the constant attacks on our infrastructure with metal theft, electricity or scrap metal prices have been soaring, and that leads to more criminal syndicates and more people eyeing this scrap metal as a valuable resource. And that means over time more of our resources have been taken up with these efforts. Electricity have acknowledged that and said we will give additional budget so we can create dedicated resources, 22 officers in this case, to help with making sure that we cover all the bases, that when our crews go out there's somebody to stand by them where it's needed, and that we can do more to combat the metal theft, to deal with incidents of intimidation or high-risk areas. We don't want a scenario like in Elsies where Eskom were for almost 2 weeks not able to complete a reinstallation because of intimidation and criminal activity. This allows us to ensure that service delivery turnover is rapid, because the goal here, number one, is to keep our staff safe. Number two is to make sure that the communities get their services, and when there's an outage, that service is reinstated quickly.
We've heard in the construction part of the city, with the building of houses, extortion rackets are running rampant. And now we understand that's also the case when it comes to the maintenance of electricity and so on. How serious is that issue?
In every community that's a hotspot, the criminals will prey on every available department, whether it's a housing contractor or a city department or contractor building a cemetery, or doing road repairs. We recently had an incident around that. Sadly, a couple of weeks ago in Samora Machel, one of our cleaning staff was attacked and murdered. It's a terrible situation for the staff, and we don't want a situation where injury or worse has happened, where we have not made every possible effort to look after them and to keep them safe. And that's what we're doing here. The extortion is a major problem. Syndicates approaching contractors and staff trying to demand 30% offer, often under the cover of so-called local labor. You will employ these local labor persons, and if you don't, there will be problems. Or you will give us 30% of the contract value as a subcontractor, offer for adding no value. And these extortion efforts we are investigating and working with SABC at high level to start nailing, and there's been some good arrests over time, but at grassroots level, unfortunately, those concepts have taken hold, and every second criminal now thinks it's a viable proposition, and therefore we have to do more of this kind of work to keep staff safe, which is a major goal for us, and the same with the contractors who work for the city.
And SABC alone can't keep these maintenance personnel safe, and that's why you needed a unit like this, correct?
Absolutely. So in the case on Elsies River, we saw almost 2-week delay in service reinstatement by Eskom, and that was largely because of the constant intimidation and threats by a particular group of criminals. And in the end, it was the city's law enforcement who was able to go in and stand by them while they work. This has become common practice. In some cases, it can take up a very significant amount of resources. In the second half of last year, we did 1,631 policing escorts for services. And as Senior Inspector Robinson said to me last week, and tomorrow Michelle, we have a situation where on a bad day 80% of this policing time can be taken up by policing escorts. That means we're not able to respond to all the other needs that the communities are reporting to us through the call centre and otherwise. So a dedicated investment like this, as has already happened in water and sanitation, is valuable. Next week we launch the facility protection officers. That will put another 240 law enforcement officers and community safety monitors who will work with them into the field to do this in many more communities. So we're taking a stronger approach to policing our resources, and we're doing it with the internal resources rather than private security.